The views expressed on the Sober Portland radio show do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting, Take 12 Radio, or its affiliates. KHLT and Take 12 Radio are not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship. And now, broadcasting on location somewhere in the vast expanse of the Pacific Northwest for the Sober Portland radio show, it's the over-opinionated 12-stepologist, the Monty Man.
Welcome, friends and recovery family. This is the Monty Man, broadcasting here on location at the Roman Candle Bakery in downtown Portland, Oregon for the Sober Portland radio broadcast and the Sober Portland networking event for this month. My guest this month is going to be Brennon Moore. He is the Regional Outreach Representative and Clinician at the Refuge here in Portland, Oregon. We're going to be talking to him here in just a few minutes. If you look at our YouTube channel, you'll see some photographs of people congregating and sharing and talking with each other, visiting and networking. And what the Sober Portland Network event is, it is an event that is sponsored by SoberPortland.com. Please visit their website. The creator of that is Matt Brown. He's on our board of directors here at Take 12 Radio. And he is the CEO of Freedom Interventions. You can visit that website at freedominterventions.com, one of our sponsors here at Take 12 Recovery Radio. If you are listening on the Bill Post Radio Network, this is particularly interesting for you because this is local right here in Oregon. And I just encourage you to continue to stay tuned. We're going to take a break here in just a few seconds. And, of course, you can listen to the archives of this show at take12radio.com. We do this on a monthly basis, the Sober Portland Radio Show. Here amongst those who are gathered for this event are clinicians, treatment providers, advocates of recovery, some of the leading and top people in their field in the Pacific Northwest here at the Sober Portland networking event. So don't go away. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking with Brennon Moore, Regional Outreach Representative and Clinician at the Refuge. When we come back, don't go away.
We understand that having a loved one caught in the grips of an addiction is a powerless position to be in, and we understand this on a very personal level. We have been there ourselves. Our own families have experienced exactly what you are feeling now. The good news is we are here to direct you in finding a way out. We are Freedom Interventions, providing the direction necessary to get the help for your addicted loved one. Your family has specific needs. We can determine the best approach for your specific circumstances. If an intervention is needed, we will provide the direction required to safely and effectively accomplish the goal of recovery for all. To begin the recovery process for your loved one, call toll-free at 888-762-7557. That's 888-762-7557. And visit our website at freedominterventions.com. Freedom Interventions, providing drug and alcohol interventions and a continuum of care services to clients and their families.
Hey there, this is the Monty Man from Take 12 Recovery Radio. You know, many of us have attended all sorts of addiction symposiums and treatment conventions, and so much of the time we walk away from these events feeling like we've been preaching to the choir just one more time. May I suggest a different kind of substance abuse and addiction treatment event? The Evolution of Addiction Treatment Conference, February 5th through the 8th, 2015, at the Westin Los Angeles Airport Hotel and Convention Center. The current field of substance abuse and addiction treatment has been evolving for almost 8 decades now. And during this time, we have seen many important developments as well as many failed experiments. It seems time to step back and conduct a professional inventory of where we have been, where we are now, and where we are heading. Well, this conference will provide a forum that encourages professional dialogues of controversial issues, showcases innovative and creative treatment approaches, and offers an overview of the field and its future. For more information, visit www.theevolutionofaddictiontreatment.com. Join me and many of my guests as we attend the Evolution of Addiction Treatment Conference February 5th through the 8th at the Westin Los Angeles Airport Hotel and Convention Center, 2015.
He's a little crazy, but then again, you already knew that.
I got in like 3 fights when I was in grade school. All 3 of them were with the bully. You know, we all know who they are. They're always a little bit bigger, they kind of smelly, and we duke it out. And after he beat the snot out of me, I'd say, "You come back tomorrow and I'll give you more of that."
It's the Bill Post Radio Show. Bill Post Radio Show. Weekdays at noon.
All right, welcome back. And I got to tell you, many of you know that I've been working very hard on staying on my paleo nutrition program. But when you're faced with French pastries, $400 worth of French pastries sitting in front of you, you might relapse on some gluten once in a while. And that is all the fault of Brennon Moore. And Brennan is sitting across from me right here. He's the regional Outreach Representative and Clinician at the Refuge. Brennan, you're hosting the Sober Portland Networking event for this month.
Indeed.
Thank you very much. What a wonderful job that you've done, and what a great group of people for this month. But what does a regional outreach representative do, and what is the Refuge?
All right, well, first of all, I just want to say the best thing about relapsing on pastries is that, I don't know about you, but I've never been put in handcuffs for driving while eating a croissant. So that's the first thing. So really, that's a good question. And to be honest with you, when I took this job as a regional outreach representative, I didn't know what that meant either. But really the way I see it is that my job is to understand the resources in my area, help connect people to them, so that I can get the addict or alcoholic that's looking for recovery options plugged into the best option for them. So I'm a therapist, so for me it's all about helping the person. And so the Refuge is in Florida. We are a long-term program. We specialize in trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, dual diagnosis, and addiction. And some of our clients are with us for as little as 30 days, but for as long as 1 year. So we believe in the importance of aftercare and a solid discharge plan. You know, there's such a cliff that occurs after residential treatment going into outpatient or extended care treatment. And so we want to cushion that fall as much as possible. So we believe that if we can set up a really good continuity of care with like-minded clinicians that we know do similar types of work that we do a lot of body-based approaches, holistic approaches, mindfulness approaches. If we can set the client up with clinicians that do that post-discharge, then the client is more likely to continue going to their weekly sessions, continue going to outpatient. Because I know for me, I struggled getting sober myself as a recovering person, because I didn't really have the resources I needed. So my hope and my job is to help give people those resources.
Okay, which brings me to a long list of things that you do. You're a certified trauma therapist.
Yes.
And let's talk about trauma here in just a second.
Yeah.
Mental health counseling, family therapy, substance abuse disorder, depression, self-esteem, mindfulness, anger management, psychotherapy, interventions. These are all great things, but if we're not applying and implementing the tools from those with the family and the environment that they're going to be coming home to, then we're right back into the mess again, true?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, and that's really where the 12 steps come in too. When I was a therapist at the Refuge, which I was for about 3 years, I would tell my guys all the time that the work you do at a place like the Refuge is going to clear away the wreckage, clear away the garbage, but it's what we do post-discharge. You know, if I leave the Refuge and a client leaves the Refuge the same day, as far as I'm concerned, if that client goes to an AA meeting that night and I don't, they've got a better chance of staying sober than I do. And so we look at it the same way with the family. That's why we believe in a family week. You know, not a family day, not a family weekend. We believe in a family week.
Nice.
An experiential family program. And a client and their family can attend as many of these as they want while the client is a client of ours. So if a client is there for 7 family weeks, bring your family out, no extra charge, tons of family therapy, tons of hours spent, because we want to start repairing some of those dysfunctional patterns start getting that healthy dialogue going. Because, I mean, to be honest with you, Monty, a lot of times the family needs to be in treatment just as much as the client does sometimes.
And many times needs to work harder.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, so the Refuge, based out of Florida, but you have a facility here in Portland?
No, so we don't have a facility in Portland.
Okay.
I live in Portland just because we recognize that we just didn't have a very strong presence in the Pacific Northwest.
Right.
So we just wanted more people to be aware of this. We wanted the Refuge to be an option for people who live in the Pacific Northwest too. More than likely, if you're going to be seeking care for post-traumatic stress and on an inpatient level, you're going to be getting on a plane anyways. So
That's right.
So we figure, why not come to sunny Florida? Even though it's very humid this time of year, but it's still beautiful. So we figured might as well come our way too. So but like I said too, it's just as we host a lot of speaking events and things like that. So it's more than just representing our treatment program. It's about educating people in this area too about trauma and addiction. So.
Right. And you have something coming up.
Yes.
Talk about that for me.
Yeah. So we have an event coming up on August 7th from 11:30 to 1 p.m. It's going to be with my former state supervisor, Dr. Tom Antonek, and he's an amazing man. He's a psychologist at the Refuge. He specializes in trauma, co-occurring disorders. He does some amazing work with impaired professionals, which I was able to assist him with for a few months, and he's just a mentor of mine. And he's going to be talking about transgenerational trauma, so the ways that we often pass down trauma to our loved ones, to our children, how we will carry the trauma from our parents. We see this all the time, Monty. We see it with adopted clients we work with. Even if they spent zero time in their country of origin, they will carry the deprivation, the trauma, the violence from that country. I've worked with several clients who their parents were Holocaust survivors, and they carry all that same energy with them into their lives. And so this is a subject that we feel like doesn't get enough play, and so we are really excited to educate the people on it. It's going to be at River Place, which is a hotel. We're going to provide lunch. So River Place in Portland, Oregon. It's in downtown Portland. It's going to be 1.5 hours of CEU credits, and it'll be a free lunch. It's a whole totally free event. You can go online and register for it, and just come be our guest.
Okay. Is the term trauma in danger of becoming the next buzzword?
That's a great point. It could be, to be honest with you. The thing that I like to see is that the new DSM, they just come out with the DSM-5. And they're really expanding on trauma.
Explain to listeners what that is.
Okay, so the DSM stands for the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Health Counseling. So it's basically the mental health Bible for us in the mental health field. This is the first time that they've ever incorporated the Eastern practitioners with the Western practitioners. So this is the first DSM that we've ever had that talks about things like chakras and energy fields and things like that. So it's really exciting. So this is the first time we've had a really good idea of what trauma is. So I kind of feel like when I think about mental health buzzwords, I think that bipolar has become one of those buzzwords. I have so many people that come up to me, and just because a friend of theirs has mood swings, they say, "God, my friend's so bipolar." So I think bipolar is used a little bit too much. I think trauma could be too, but to be honest with you, I'm just glad that people are talking about it, because 50 years ago there was no trauma. It was trauma was something that only combat vets or kidnap and rape victims could experience.
You know what I've noticed? For instance, the term codependency. That was we were really getting educated about that. Love addiction. People not being able to be okay with who they were unless the people around them were behaving a certain way, and all that kind of behavior. And people were beginning to understand it, and then it kind of became a buzzword, and people kind of poo-pooed it. And now it's kind of settled back down, and people are, particularly people in the circles that I spend a lot of time with in the faith community, are starting to say, you know what, I think you guys were right. And I think that needs to happen with the bipolar thing. I like manic depressive better because I think it explains it more. But I think right now trauma, from the people I've talked to over the last couple of years, is getting a lot of good press. And it is what we're finding. We used to think, and correct me if I'm wrong, we used to think that a large percentage of people that lived with active addiction and alcoholism, addiction being a broad term, and I'm talking about the real deal, the obsession of the mind, the allergy of the body, that a large percentage had trauma in their life. We now know that it is probably very reasonable to say 100%.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree. Yeah. And the statistics that are out there, so as much as you want to rely on statistics, but the statistics themselves are pretty high. It's like 84%. So so I would absolutely agree with you that there's a huge correlation there.
Right. And trauma is not one of those things that's really addressed to the degree that it needs to be within our, and forgive me listeners, but within our 12-step fellowships.
You're absolutely right. And I've spoke to a treatment program in Eugene, Oregon a couple times, and I'm going to speak to them again in July. And the whole reason I go there to speak to them is not to talk about the Refuge. It's not to pitch anything.
Right.
It's simply to educate them that the 4th and 5th step is not trauma work. And I love the 4th and 5th step. I love every step from 1 to 12 and everything before and after. Like I said, I believe that trauma work is what clears away the wreckage. Our continued recovery work is what keeps us sober, happy, healthy, and whole. But I think sometimes people confuse a 4th and 5th, a 6th and 7th, and an 8th and 9th for mental health counseling work, and that's not the same.
It's not.
And it's not that one is better than the other. I think that they should be done in conjunction to help us maximize. And I think Bill Wilson talked about that when he said, we are not Superman, and we know only a little. And I think those are two very powerful statements in the big book.
Isn't it interesting how those of us within the recovery fellowships, we cherry pick what we like, out of literature like the Basic Text of NA or the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and the rest of it we just kind of I don't know if I agree with that, so I'm not going to pay attention to it, and we forget statements that Bill Wilson said, like this is but a spiritual kindergarten, that we only know but a little, that more will be revealed, etc., etc., and we think we got it all right there with the stuff that came out 75 years ago, when we are really learning so much more now. It can be frustrating, right?
Yeah, it can be, and I think that's what's cool about when you first get sober, all you really do is put your nose in the two books, the 12 and 12 in the big book.
Right.
And now that I've been sober for a little while, doing my own research, reading some autobiographies of Bill W. And Bill W. suffered from depression his whole life.
Yeah.
And I believe that Bill Wilson would smile today if he saw the group of people that we had here today. All these people that are coming up with everything from new genetic tests to determine what our susceptibility for addiction is, all the way to treatment programs that specialize in women using equine therapy. Bill Wilson would have gotten a kick out of it, and more than likely he would have tried all those techniques to help his depression. I really love to see it, and I just think it's cool that we've come to this point.
Treating what Bill Wilson deemed as emotional sobriety is what he referred to as the next frontier. And it's almost like we're just now evolving into that.
I
and
agree.
He talked about it years ago.
Yeah.
But everybody just kind of went, let's just go to meetings, 90 meetings in 90 days, don't drink or use in between meetings. That's great for the alcohol abuser or the drug user that just needs to grow up. But for the person that really lives with the chronic illness of addiction, that ain't going to work.
No, I agree.
We got to dig deeper. Okay, so is there a website that the Refuge has that we can give listeners?
Absolutely. So it's www.therefuge-ahealingplace.com. So again, that's www.therefuge-ahealingplace.com. You can find out questions about admissions. You can click on our blogs. I just wrote a recent blog on there called The Limbic Nation, about how, in the last month and a half, there was 4 public shootings, and one of them was in Seattle, Washington, and one of them was right here in Troutdale, Oregon. And I explore how this kind of stuff vicariously traumatizes us, just by seeing this stuff over and over in the news, how it traumatizes us. So our website provides links to stuff like that, to blogs, to information, education about everything from sexual addiction to adoption research, and you get a nice bio of our staffs and events that we have coming up, so please check it out.
Let's talk about adoption research.
Yeah.
That really piques my interest.
Yeah.
I was adopted when I was 2 years of age, and it was a closed adoption.
Yeah.
And we have tried vigorously to open up those files.
Yeah.
It was in California, and we have not been able to do that.
Yeah.
And my main goal was not to bother anybody or inconvenience anyone. My main goal was to get a medical history for my children.
Yeah.
And now I hear today about a method to be able to track genetically what medications your body will absorb, will process, what ones won't. Can you talk about that a little bit? That's amazing to me.
Yeah, and that's what's so cool about that. There's some scientific progress that is allowing us to understand our history genetically, even if we can't understand it historically. So that's cool. That's how I see that. The adoption stuff, there's a really good book that you should check out, and all your listeners should check out, especially if you've been adopted. It's called The Primal Wound. And I don't know the name of the author right off the top of my head, but the book's name is A Primal Wound. And it talks about a phenomenon that we see a lot at the Refuge, which is called a loss of a tribe. You know, it's regardless of whether or not your adopted family was great or not. Most of the clients we work with had great adopted families.
Yeah.
They just talk about this deep sense of knowing that this wasn't their family, a deep sense of wondering, who am I then?
Yeah,
you know, and it's perplexing, is what our clients will tell us. And then, of course, it becomes a different story. We've worked with a lot of individuals who were adopted from third world orphanages, and the impact that severe neglect and deprivation can have on us in a short amount of time is incredible. You know, for example, being ignored causes the same chemical reaction in the brain as being physically injured. So, neglect has the same, or if not a more destructive impact on our brain than overt physical abuse. So what they're finding is, if you've spent a significant amount of time in foster care or an orphanage, usually you don't have a lot of one-on-one connection. So what they're finding is that significantly impacts the way our brain develops. And there's tons of research out there on orphan research. There's a really interesting guy named Charles Nelson. He's a Harvard neuroscientist, and he researches Romanian orphans. And he's found some pretty incredible stuff. But so this is the stuff that we see with clients. And so when they come to us at the Refuge, for us it becomes about a process of rebuilding a tribe for them. And we rebuild a tribe with their therapy groups, with AA, NA, SLAA, CODA, Al-Anon. You know, that's one way to build a tribe. But we start building a tribe by building a family in our treatment program.
Right. Yeah. Do you think this is one of the reasons why so many folks attach themselves to their 12-step fellowships, don't do the work necessarily, but end up being attracted to and attached to the meetings and the barbecues and the conventions and never really do the work? Is because they're seeking this family connection, and that fulfills something in them where they forget to do the work?
You know, I've never thought of it exactly like that before, but I think there is an element of that, you know.
Yeah.
I think there is an element to where the fellowship can be so intoxicating in itself that it can trick you into thinking that that's enough, because it does feel really good. I remember just for me, the first time I came in really honestly wanting to be sober and I found a fellowship, that brotherhood warmed me from the inside out. So I can absolutely see how it would have been easy to have said to myself, "Oh, that's enough. I'll just I'll do the 1, 2, 3 steps, and just not go forward."
Right.
So that's a really interesting thought, and I could see that being a situation.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, man. Brennon Moore, the Regional Outreach Representative and Clinician at the Refuge. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleasure is all mine.
Taking the time to do this. I was telling Marcia that you were the first person I actually shook hands with when I walked into my first sober Portland networking event.
Oh, cool! I did not know that. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
I thought you were a grizzled vet by that time.
Oh, that's funny. Well, listen, man. Best to you.
Thank you.
And God bless you, man. Godspeed.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Hey, thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, folks. We're going to be back. We're going to take a short break. Come back. We're going to be playing some recovery-focused music by some recovery recording artists to finish out this month's Sober Portland radio show, coming to you from the Roman Candle Bakery Company on Division Street in Portland, Oregon. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Hey there, it's the Monty Man from Take 12 Recovery Radio, introducing a brand new recovery television series, Time to Heal with Pam. Breaking the chains of addiction. Broadcasting on Treasure Valley Community Television in Boise, Idaho. Time to Heal with Pam is a recovery talk show focused on the psychological, emotional, and spiritual aspects of addiction. Its mission, to deliver the truth that recovery from alcohol and narcotic addiction is possible. Tune in Sundays at 10 a.m. and again at 7:30 p.m., as well as Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time on Channel 11 TVC TV, Boise, Idaho. Or visit the website at tvboise.com and click on the Watch Live banner at the top of the page. Not from Idaho? No problem! Go to the YouTube channel and type in Time to Heal with Pam in the search bar. Watch all episodes 24/7. That's Time to Heal with Pam on TVC TV, Channel 11, Boise, Idaho.
Pardon me, dude, are you in the rooms?
Bro, I've been going to meetings for years.
Yeah, but dude, are you in the rooms?
Bro, I'm in meetings all the time. Of course I'm in the rooms.
Yeah, but are you registered on In the Rooms?
Bro, you're not making any sense.
Dude, pay attention. I'm talking about intherooms.com. It's only the world's largest online recovery social networking site for recovery folks like you and me, dude, or anyone seeking help from any addiction. You get exclusive free access to daily meditations, speaker tapes, and daily online video AA and NA meetings, dude. There are close to 300,000 members who are willing to share their experience, strength, and hope with you, dude.
With me?
Yeah, with you. Here's what you do.
What's that?
Get on your computer, your smartphone, or your tablet and type in www.intherooms.com. It's for fun and for free, dude. Dude, what are you doing?
Well, I just did what you said. Now, I'm in the rooms.
Dude, bro, we're both in the rooms.
Dude, bro, yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Hey, bro, I'm hungry. Are you in the pizza?
Dude. Oh, dude.
In the Rooms, the world's largest recovery social networking site with something for everybody. Visit www.intherooms.com and register for free.
I had this illness that really made me powerless over alcohol and that insisted that I got drunk. And so I got drunk. It doesn't have anything to do with trying to control it. An alcoholic who picks up the first drink will pick up the second drink. I can't say to anyone, no, don't drink. But I can say that when you decide you don't want to drink, come to AA. The door to AA is always open. Alcoholics Anonymous. It works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or AA.org.
All right, well, welcome back, my friends, to the Sober Portland radio show, an extension of the Take 12 Recovery radio show, right here on location at the Abba Jean's Roman Candle Bakery Company, located at 3377 Southeast Division in Portland, Oregon. And I've just got to give kudos to these guys. This bakery is amazing. Now, we're not in with the crowd right now. We've kind of separated out because we're going to be listening to some recovery music by some phenomenal recovery recording artists, as I promised. But I just wanted to take just a few seconds and thank the staff at the Roman Candle Bakery. What a phenomenal group of people, and just, you know, the bakers. Oh my gosh. You're talking about French pastries that, you know, you probably aren't going to find unless you go to France, unless you come to the Roman Candle Bakery, 3377 Southeast Division Street in Portland, Oregon. So please check them out, would you please? Okay. So we have been talking today a lot about trauma and recovery, and of course talking to Brennon Moore, the regional outreach representative and clinician at the Refuge. We're going to shift gears here, and we're gonna play some music, some recovery music. Then I've got some announcements in between some of the songs, some things that I want you to know about that are going to be going on here very, very shortly, right here in the Pacific Northwest. that have to do with recovery that you don't want to miss out on, okay? So our first song that we're going to hear is by the recovery recording artist, Dr. Jamie Marich. This song is called Stronger Than Old Memories. I think you can figure out what it's all about. Here's Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. I just love that song. One of my favorites. Hey, listen, here a couple of months ago, we had the privilege of having Nancy Engelman on, the executive director at Come Rest a While, a residential service for women in recovery in Lake Oswego, Oregon. And I want to encourage you to come to their event, not just because it's going to be a great barbecue surrounded around recovery and it's open to the public, but also you'll have an opportunity to meet the Monty Man. I mean, you know, what better opportunity could there be, right? You can meet my silly mug and my shiny bald head. Come check this out. Come Rest a While presents an annual barbecue. This is being held Saturday, August 2nd from noon to 4. Saturday, August 2nd from noon to 4. The location is TV Elks Club. TV Elks Club. And the address is 8350 Warm Southwest Springs Street, Tualatin, Oregon. 8350 Warm Southwest Spring Street, Tualatin, Oregon, on Saturday, August 2nd from noon till 4. This is the Come Rest a While folks putting on this annual barbecue. You can buy your ticket today if you give Nancy or Sharon a phone call. And here's the phone number, 503-635-0120. 0102. That's 503-635-0102. Please give them a call. Adults and children 12 and over are $10 if you buy your tickets now. $15 at the door. Children under 12 are free. Raffle tickets are going to be sold as well. And this money is going to a great cause. You have to understand that residential services for women in recovery are few and far between. So please come join us. All right, I'll be there. I'm going to be broadcasting at the event, and exciting stuff. It really is. You could win. There's 3 great raffle prizes: weekend getaways plus $200 gift card, and you can win a weekend getaway somewhere. So check it out, would you please? Remember the phone number 503-635-0102. Nancy R. Sharon at the Come Rest a While Annual Barbecue, Saturday, August 2nd. And if you want more information on that, or you forget that information, just email me here at take12radio@comcast.net, and I will direct you in the direction to go to get your tickets for the barbecue. And listen, you can't use the excuse, well, I really don't know anybody. Oh, come on. For those of you who are in recovery or in the recovery field, we meet new people all the time at the last minute. We do it all the time, and we're happy to do so. So come on, join the Monty Man and Take 12 Recovery Radio as I broadcast from the event on Saturday, August 2nd. All right, good. All right, next up is a phenomenal recovery recording artist, Elizabeth Edwards. This is her song, Hold On.
I can't keep the sun from setting, and I can't make it rise. I can't stop your heart from breaking, but I'll hold you while you cry. There's a spring after every cold, dark winter, and there's a dawn after every long, hard night. Every prayer we whisper, and there's a new day in sight. So hold on until tomorrow. Hold on to my hand. Every known its sorrow, so hold on until tomorrow. And I have been where you are now, stranded at the edge. And hope is what I held on to. I was hanging until tomorrow. Hold on to my hand. Every joy has known its sorrow, so hold on until tomorrow. Hold on until tomorrow. Hold on to my hand. Every joy has known its sorrow, so hold on until tomorrow.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth. As always, just beautiful and wonderful, talented recovery recording artists focusing on the cause of recovery and helping people to heal from the pain of addiction and alcoholism and codependency. Hey, listen, I met a gentleman at the Sober Portland networking event today by the name of Rick Wheeler. And he is somebody who's co-facilitating a men's process group entitled From Trance to Intention. And this is addressing addictive and or distracting thoughts and behaviors. Let me ask you a question. Do you identify with any of the following? Questioning your relationship to substances, losing hours to social networking, escaping to internet pornography, perhaps, working extra hours and missing loved ones? Are you a workaholic, for instance? Eating to self-soothe or at strange times, eating at strange times, bouncing from one relationship to another. I know people that do that. Well, a weekly process group to foster a safe environment is being put together, called From Trance to Intention. And Rick Wheeler is one of the facilitators putting this thing on. Now, you can get information by going to the website at www.mindfulcounsel.net, mindfulcounsel.net, or you could call 503-250-2756 for more information on the From Trance to Intention men's process group. So check that out, would you please? All right, more activities in the Pacific Northwest, all surrounded around recovery. Great stuff. Did you know, guys and gals, did you know that recovery extends beyond our 12-step fellowships? Did you know that Bill Wilson talked about that, the co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous? But we've forgotten that. Recovery isn't just limited to your 12-step meetings. It's far-reaching. So, come on out. Join the fun. I mean, if you're going to three 12-step meetings a day, and that's all you're doing, you're not experiencing being a productive member of society. So I'm encouraging you to come out and do some of this stuff. All sorts of great activities. Hey, next up, music-wise, is John McAndrew, another fine recovery recording artist, with his song, If You Can't Forgive. Here's John.
Old man sitting by the sea, and tears rolling down his wind-worn cheeks. I hold my hand out, I ask him, can I help? He says, help me by listening to the story I tell. He said, my heart is full of anger, bitterness and fear. That's why I'm an old man, full of all these tears. And he said, empty your heart of all its bitterness. If you're angry at someone, then it's time to forgive, and fill it with love and a little gentleness, 'cause you can't go on living if you can't forgive. He says, I know you've been hurt, son, and your hurt runs deep, but you don't have to end up an old man like me. Said I sat here full of rage for all these years, 'cause nobody told me what I'm telling you here. He said, empty your heart of all its bitterness. If you're angry at something, then it's time to forgive, and fill it with love and a little gentleness, 'cause you can't go on living if you can't forgive. He says you don't go on living if you can't forgive. Then he stood up, he put his arm on me. He said, promise me one thing before you leave, that you'll empty your heart of all its bitterness. If you're angry at someone, then it's time to forgive, and fill it with love and a little gentleness, 'cause you can't go on living if you can't forgive. He says you don't go on living, you can't go on living. He said it just isn't living if you can't forgive.
Wow, I love that song, If You Can't Forgive. I really embrace the message behind that thing. All right. Hey, listen, I mentioned that the Sober Portland radio show is sponsored by SoberPortland.com. Please visit SoberPortland.com and check out the networking opportunities that are there. Get to know the people on that website. Sign up. And like I said, get involved outside of what you're normally involved with. All right, next up is recovery recording artist from Australia, Andy Anderson, with his song, When You Don't Know.
When you don't know your eyes from a hole in the ground, all your good friends can be found, and you try to pull together, but you're falling all apart. You're trying to function with a broken heart. You're not down alone. I know how long the night becomes. Pick up the telephone. Stumbling blocks can become stepping stones. They got you by the short and curlies, and they're cramping up your style. You can't even raise a smile. You lost your kit and your caboodle, lost your spark, you lost your thread. You're written way over your head. You're not down alone. Sometimes the pain, it gets so strong. One more horizon, shadows fall behind when you face the sun. Look to the sun now.
Heather Lane is up next with her song Amazing Grace, all about a gal by the name of Grace, who is quite amazing.
Amazing Grace, she's on the bus now, headed downtown to take her place, and know that face behind the beauty, she's so lonely and wants a change. She's just 18, the boys are waiting, and they're wanting some amazing grace, and she'll go with a smile, but all the while she'll be crying inside. An amazing grace, I hear her praying for someone to take her place. An amazing grace, she came from nothing, just wants to be something. Amazing grace. And then one night, things got crazy. She was fighting for her life, and in a drunken rage, oh, he tried. But on that night, she killed a man. An amazing grace, I hear her praying for someone to take her place. An amazing grace, she came from nothing, just wants to be something. Amazing grace. Now locked away, she cries. She's so sorry. What a wasted life. Until that day, a man with a Bible told her about the one who took her place. Wow, an amazing grace, I hear her singing about the one who And here I stand where she lay, thinking about the one who took my place.
Beautiful voice, Heather. A beautiful voice. What a pleasure it was to meet you at the World Convention of Alcoholics Anonymous in San Antonio, Texas. All right, well, that is going to wrap it up for this month's presentation of the Sober Portland radio show, Reaching the Pacific Northwest with the Solution of Recovery. I want to give a special thank you to my friend Brennon Moore, the Regional Outreach Representative and Clinician at the Refuge, for hosting this wonderful networking meeting this month in downtown Portland on Division Street at the bakery, at the Roman Candle Bakery. What a great place to eat. Folks, don't forget to check it out. Thank you, Brennan, so much for the service that you provide, for all the work that you're doing to help people recover from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body, for your mental health counseling, for your family therapy, for working with people with depression and self-esteem issues, anger management, even involved in interventions. Thank you so much. Brennan is one of these guys that understands what the 12th step is talking about when it says taking this message, carrying this message to those who still suffer. He understands it. He gets it. He's giving back. He's been given a tremendous gift in his sobriety, his recovery, and his relationship with a higher power. And now he's giving that back. That is so vitally important when we're talking about living as productive members of society. Brennon Moore, thank you so much for hosting the Sober Portland networking event. My friends, don't forget to visit SoberPortland.com. Plug in, get involved, and show up at one of these networking events. Get a hold of Matt Brown at freedominterventions.com and join us as we carry the message of hope in recovery to the Pacific Northwest. Thank you, my friends. Until next broadcast, this is the Monty Man, and I'm wishing God's perfect serenity for you. Bye-bye now.
This show has been made available by Freedom Interventions, Sober Portland, and Take 12 Radio. This has been a broadcast of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
Hey, it's the Monty Man, and I bet you thought that you were done with me for this show. Well, think again. Just a reminder, don't forget to tune into all of our shows at take12radio.com on your internet dial. The best in recovery talk and positive music, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Go down about mid-page and click on the subscribe link to subscribe for free to all of our shows here at Take 12 Recovery Radio. Listen, do something now that will make the person you will be tomorrow proud to have been the person you are today. God bless.